Rev up your engines. All right, here it is, the Silverado, the electric pickup truck. Long time ago, Chevy had the S10 EV. They made less than 500 of them. They had 1,300 pounds of lead acid batteries. This, of course, is modern battery system. Weighs almost 1/3 of what the vehicle weighs, and the vehicle weighs more than 3 tons, 8,800 pounds. That's a lot of weight. It's more than 4 tons. It is one heavy vehicle. Now, unlike the Ford Lightning EV truck, which is basically a F-150 turned into an electric vehicle, this was actually designed as an electric vehicle. It's got the base frame of the Hummer shortened down, the electric Hummer, not the gasoline one, of course. And so it was actually made as an electric vehicle. It wasn't an afterthought like the Ford was. And then Ford said, we're going to have a whole new redesigned pickup truck, but now they're kind of thinking, we're kind of having a problem selling these things. Maybe we'll make that new one right away. Now, they're not giving these things away. They're super expensive. You want to get a fancy one? I looked them up. They start at $91,000, but I also looked locally, and guess what? One of them was listed all the way down to $67,000. And you might think, $91,000 vehicle, $61,000. Why? Why? Because people aren't buying them. If they were selling them, they'd be like the Cybertrucks originally were, where people were buying them and then selling them for $150,000. Those days are gone for the Cybertruck. Well, those days never really came for this. The Hummers, yeah, that's a completely different ball game. The mythical Hummer, they were going for tons of money and stuff. But this is a Silverado pickup truck. They weren't that popular yet. Nobody knows if they will or they won't, because of course it's an electric vehicle. I know people who have them and they say they can get 450 or so normal driving. And that's not bad. Now, it takes a while to charge up the battery, but 450 is not bad. But they also told me that if we're towing the heavy loads, they can tow a lot because batteries and electric motors have a lot of torque. But when they do tow, their range is cut by more than half. And that's if it's normal. Go to Canada where it's freezing cold in the winter, it's going to tow even less. The problem is people get a big truck, they expect to do big things with it, and if they start doing big things, the range starts going down. Now, these are all-wheel drive. It's 2024, so you're definitely not going to get stuck. With the computer systems and the motors and the wheels, you'll be able to have any wheel turn any which way, so you're going to get out of sticky situations. There's no arguing that. And as you can see, it's a real truck. It's got truck clearance. You can mess around with it with the suspension system if you want, but basically it has a nice high stand, so it's not like an electric vehicle that's low to the ground. You're going to scrape the battery. You're going to get stuck if you go off-road in it. Not that I advise people to take 8,800-pound electric vehicles off-road. I mean, there are big rocks, boulders. The battery, of course, is on the bottom. That's the only place you could put it. If the battery was higher, it weighs so much, the thing would topple over. It would handle like garbage. So they all have them on the bottom. Of course, there's no exhaust pipe. It's an electric vehicle. Got independent suspension back here. We'll see how it rides when we take it for a road test. And the rest of the vehicle, when you look under there, it's all sealed, of course, because the battery's got to be sealed from the elements. Look, it's a real pickup truck. It has a spare tire. Take our first look inside. There's the little sticker. This particular one was a Fleet, and it's priced at $74,800. Oh, well, listen to the build. Sounds pretty solid, I gotta say. We're gonna have electronic stuff up the wazoo here, of course. Now, what I like is this is your climate control, and it's pretty simple. It shows you everything is, but it looks like an old style AM FM radio when I was young. But instead, it's operating the fans and everything. Putting the fan up and down, I don't have to search for a billion things. There's a button for it. Yay for buttons. It has a real steering wheel. Check it out. Not some crazy yoke. And it's got buttons for your electric parking brake, pop things open. I love this. It isn't all just here like in a Tesla where you think you're driving a computer. It's still got your speedometer in the front. Now, this thing's only got 3,532 miles on it. Let's look under the hood. Where's the engine? But you can see it's got a pretty big frunk. Comes with a little charger here. Hey, 220 chargers, so that's nice. Now with that giant battery, you gotta use at least the level 2 220 charger. You plug this thing into your house at 110 volts. It would probably take days to fully charge the battery. Realize that. You gotta go level 2 or a supercharger to charge these things up. The battery is 1/3 the weight of the vehicle, and the vehicle weighs 8,800 pounds. So we're talking super heavy, super dense. It's GM's Ultium battery. See if these hold up over time. I haven't seen any of them start on fire yet, I'll give them that. But on the other hand, they've only sold a few thousand of these things. They sold less than 500 of the electric S10s. The last time I looked on these, it was like 6,800 or something they sold in the last quarter, so they're not selling that many of them. If you don't know, there are electric batteries in here. There's a 12-volt battery. Gee, how they got a 12-volt battery to make this thing run? Boy, there's a miracle of engineering. Actually, it's for safety reasons. The big giant battery can't ground the body, because if it did, you touch the body, you would be instantly electrocuted. But that, when you get in the car with the old module, 12 volts starts to send power to the computer. It decides, okay, is everything okay? Is it not too hot, not too cold? Electricity starts going through the system through various transformers and switches. But if that 12-volt battery goes bad, you're screwed. So even though it's got a little battery in here and a big battery on the whole bottom of the car, you got to check it as they age, because if that little battery goes bad, guess what? It won't start. Realize they still have tiny little batteries in them. You got to watch them every once in a while if you buy one of these things. It's all-wheel drive, and I got to say, it's got a nice style. My neighbor came over and he said he wished they made the regular pickup trucks like this. He's not in love with electric trucks, but he likes the look of this thing. Now, I think he likes it because, see, he owns a Hummer, and this is based on the electric Hummer. The chassis shortened a little, so instinctually, I think he's drawn towards this thing. But he doesn't like electric vehicles, kind of like me. We'll see how it runs. It might be a great running vehicle. I liked that Volvo electric car that I checked out here last year. I thought it was a great car, and this kind of reminds me of it, because it's got a regular speedometer, it's got regular headlight switches and stuff, not some computer console you gotta look at, so when you're driving it feels like a regular car. And I like the Volvo because of that. It's an electric car, so I'll probably never buy one. And many people agreed with me, because once it went for $67,000 new, when they're a year old, they're going for $27,000. So it's kind of telling you, people that are trying them out are like, yeah, not really my cup of tea. Of course, when you're dealing with pickups, it's completely different. They want to be able to tow, go all over the place, not be stranded. Will they hold up over time? Only time will tell. They just started selling these things, right? But of course, the real stinker for most people is, how are you going to get it fixed when it breaks? They try to say the stuff about electric cars that, oh, electric cars are simpler, they have less maintenance, blah, 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 blah. Actually, it's been proven that they're more expensive. The Teslas that have been out now for over 10 years, they're one of the most expensive cars to repair, because their complexity is up the yin-yang. Did a little research on this before it came over on my old data system, right? And I said, gee, I wonder how you figure out what's wrong with the air conditioner. And it says, well, it has these codes, but unfortunately, there's no information on how further you can go from these codes, that if it's got an air conditioning heat pump compressor failure, it just tells you replace it. And these things are expensive as can be, right? They're super expensive. They don't have a thing that, oh, well, check this. No, they just say, okay, that's not working, replace the compressor assembly. Then they have what they call a PEI, which is all the power module and computers that activate it. The stuff is expensive. And you know, eventually it's going to break. And is there anyone on this planet that really knows how to fix them? Not too many people do. That's one of the big downfalls. People, especially truck guys, you see a lot of old trucks, right? Driving down the road because guys fix them, or they have a friend that knows how to fix them. They've been fixing them for decades. Well, let's see what happens when these things start to get old. People are real leery. The used market for electric vehicles is almost sunk to the bottom of the pit now, because people are finding out, oh, gee, I bought this used Tesla. What a deal. Then they find out the battery went bad and it's going to cost them $16,000, right? It leaves people with a weird taste in their mouth that, I got to say, the people I know that have bought these electric pickup trucks, it was always the first truck they ever had because they wanted to try it out. I have yet to meet anybody who had an F-150, a Silverado, a Dodge Ram that went out and bought an electric version of a pickup. I haven't seen a single person. Now, if you are one of these people, come visit me. I'd love to talk to you. You know, maybe talk some sense into you. I don't know. But let's see how this thing runs. Here we go. We'll put it in reverse. Look how easy that was. We got the overhead view, like we got a drone. And of course it's super quiet, except for the strange noise that it has to make, because it's an electric vehicle. And as I said before, I like it because it has a real speedometer, right? Look, it has real turn signals. You don't have to search on the screen to figure out how to turn the AC on or how to turn the turn signals. Like now, I'm sweating to death, so I'm gonna turn the fan up. Look, I just have to push a button. And it does have the independent suspension. Let's see how it handles. Ooh, you wouldn't think you were in a truck. That's the one thing. They really handle much better than a normal pickup truck. They don't have all the weight in the front. So here we go down Tobacco Road. Nobody's over there. Nobody's over there. We'll just tootle along so that car gets in front of us. Now this thing does weigh like 8,800 pounds, right? It's one heavy monster. Now there's nobody behind us, so let's step on the gas. For a big heavy truck, hey, takes off really fast. There's no arguing that. Now, it weighs 8,800 pounds. And I do have to say, the Tesla Cybertruck is much faster than this thing. I don't know what they can give statistics on here or there, but I've driven them both. And it's much faster than this thing is. But this is a big Silverado truck. And I mean, anybody who's driving this thing around, you're probably going to be more than happy with that acceleration. Come up to the corner here. Says we're supposed to go 20 and we won't. I'm assuming it's not going to have any problems because it feels fine. That independent suspension with these electric motors, I got to say, it holds the road pretty good. Look, we're going 44 and it's supposed to go 25. No problems at all. I have to say, driving it around, I do like the layout. The heating system's simple. Dials, turn signals, simple. A knob, gear shift, there it is. Reverse, drive, neutral. Can't complain. It's set up. Anybody can get in this thing and drive it. You don't need a PhD in computer science to drive the stupid thing around. And it is smooth. Handles smooth. Nice and quiet. I don't hear poorly built parts rattling or anything like I did on a lot of Teslas. And if you noticed at the beginning of the video, they don't want this to stand out. Looks like a pickup truck. And what does it say? It says Chevrolet on the back, and the E is a little different to show it's electrified, but it's not shining out electric car, no. Any pickup guy sees it's not, we're just gonna think it's a Chevy pickup truck. You can say plenty of room. And of course, it's got all electrical outlets and stuff that you can run on it. But I gotta say, I like it. They didn't go overboard. This is all mechanical. You push it, pull it, simpler, less things to break. Okay, so what do I think about it? I like the way it runs. I like the way it drives. I really like the way it looks. Looks like a regular pickup truck. Only it's got a little bit more style. It's just that it's an electric pickup truck and they're having a hard time selling them because they want convenience. They want to be able to go all over the place. Generally, they want to tow and haul a lot. Now, this can tow and haul an awful lot. It's just that you're going to run out of electricity a heck of a lot faster then. And then you're going to have to plan it all to have a place to get it charged up. And it's going to take a while to charge a battery that's this big when it gets that low. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's why it comes with the 220 charger. Just like the Hummer, it's kind of overpriced. There's no arguing that, but all the electric stuff's overpriced these days. Maybe one day they'll figure out how to make smaller ones in a price range that people are going to buy. Look what Ford did with their Maverick. They made a little truck. Everybody said nobody wants little trucks. They're selling like hotcakes because they got a little truck at a good price and people are buying them. 4 doors. They ride nice. They have independent suspension like this. Maybe GM should start thinking smaller. Maybe make a small one. And they probably would sell them. Be a lower price. Wouldn't have as big of a battery. And if it was designed like this thing, people aren't going to complain about the looks. It just looks like a nice truck. It doesn't look like some spaceship Cybertruck going across the universe, leaving pieces falling off it while it goes down the road. Hey, I like it. If only it wasn't an electric truck. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.